Hello, I'm Moira Alderson with the BBC News. The US National Security spokesperson John Kirby has said the visit to Taiwan by the Speaker of the House of Representatives Nancy Pelosi does not breach America's One China policy and there was no need to turn it into a crisis. He said the United States would not engage in saber-rattling.
This trip was the Speaker's decision, and Congress is an independent branch of government. You all know that. Let me be clear. The Speaker's visit is totally consistent with our long-standing One China policy. We've been very clear that nothing has changed about our One China policy. We've said that we oppose any unilateral changes to the status quo from either side. We've said we do not support Taiwan independence. We expect cross-strait differences to be resolved by peaceful means.
Beijing, which claims the island as its own, has reacted furiously to the visit. Our North America correspondent, John Sudworth, who's outside the White House, has this assessment of what that means for Washington.
That was a concern, of course, from the administration here all along. They have been warning against the wisdom of this trip for days and weeks. Now that it's gone ahead, they are taking a more neutral tone. But those concerns remain, not over the risk of invasion. Most analysts believe that the risks of that for now remain small, but simply because I think the American government feels it has enough on its plate in terms of foreign policy.
The UN nuclear watchdog chief has said Iran's nuclear programme is moving ahead very, very fast. Rafael Grossi, who heads the International Atomic Energy Agency, said the programme was growing in ambition and capacity. He said this posed challenges for reviving the 2015 nuclear deal.
That doesn't mean we cannot verify it, but quite clearly we need the degree of access commensurate with the characteristics of that program. And this is where we will have to, and I'm sure that, and in fact I know for a fact that in the attempts to revive this agreement, this is being taken into consideration.
Talks on reviving the nuclear deal remain stalled because of differences between Iran and the US on several issues. Both countries have said they believe an agreement is still possible. The main coordinator of the talks in Vienna, the EU foreign policy head Josep Borrell, has recently submitted a new draft text. The first grain ship to have sailed from a Ukrainian-controlled port since Russia invaded the country has reached Turkish waters. The Sierra Leone-flagged cargo vessel is waiting north of the Bosphorus Strait. On Wednesday, it's due to be inspected for prohibited goods in a joint operation involving Russian, Ukrainian, Turkish and UN officials. The boat is carrying 26,000 tonnes of grain that was loaded in Odessa. It's hoped resuming grain exports will help ease the global food crisis. BBC News. The United Nations has announced that the truce in Yemen has been extended for another 2 months, hours before it was due to expire. The UN Special Envoy for Yemen said the warring parties agreed to maintain the ceasefire under the same terms, including a commitment to intensify negotiations to reach an expanded truce as soon as possible. A government spokesman in the Democratic Republic of Congo has suggested that the withdrawal of UN peacekeepers from the country could be brought forward following protests against them last week. Patrick Muyaya told the BBC that it might be preferable for the thousands of UN soldiers to leave sooner than a transition date provisionally scheduled for the end of 2024. Delegations from the United States and European Union seeking a peaceful resolution to the civil war between Ethiopia and its northern region of Tigray have called for electricity, banking and telecommunications services to be restored to the province. The special envoys to the Horn of Africa met the Tigrayan head, Debretsion Gebremichael, in the regional capital Mekelle, amid tentative hopes of political dialogue between the warring parties. The Archbishop of Canterbury has upheld a motion from 1998 that gay sex is a sin, but Justin Welby also said he would not punish churches that conduct same-sex marriages. More details from Harry Farley.
More than 650 bishops representing 165 countries are meeting in Canterbury this week. Speaking before a discussion on sexuality, Justin Welby acknowledged that for a large majority, particularly across Asia and Africa, questioning the conservative teaching that gay marriage was sinful was unthinkable. But he admitted that for many Western churches, keeping the traditional opposition to gay marriage was also unthinkable. LGBT campaigners accused him of trying to ride two horses at once. But the Anglican Church is deeply divided on the issue.
That's the latest BBC News.